and then we'll get started. So first of all, I just wanted to say, although this is like 2020 basics, today we're going to go through not as basic things as adding walls and choosing items and things like that. But we're going to go through how to properly set up your styles and pricing for your design. We're going to go through some tips on how to add some personal touches to your design to maybe set you apart from some of your competition. We all have found that the more realistic you can make your designs and your renderings, the more likely your clients are going to be able to visualize their space and then choose to work with you over someone else. And at Cabico, at Cabico, our main philosophy revolves around what we call the human touch. And it's really about building connections and relationships with people. So we hope these tips will help you do just that. So with me today is Cindy Raymond, or Cindy Raymond en français. She is one of our in-house designers. And Cindy lives in Cabico, where our Essence and Unique series is produced. She is also the team lead for our design services team in Cabico. That is where she lives with her husband and their 3 children and their new puppy, which we were just chatting about. Cindy has been with Cabico for 7 years today. So today is her 7th Cabico anniversary, which is very exciting. Happy anniversary, Cindy.
Thank you.
A fun fact about Cindy is that in her spare time, when she's not running after her children or her dogs, she is a country pop line dance teacher. So she can teach us all a few moves, I'm sure.
I could.
Thanks, Cindy.
So let me introduce Jessica. Jessica is our national sales trainer. She's been with Cabico for almost 6 years now and was a designer for the 10 last years. 10 years before that, so 16 years. She lives in Saskatchewan, but most of the time she's traveling all around Canada and United States. She is a Blue Jays baseball fan, and one of her 2 favorite things are Blue Jays and gin tonics.
Yes, you saw that I posted my special gin tonic last night too.
Yeah.
Quarantine cocktails. That's how we're making it through all of this. So again, thank you everyone for joining us this morning. We just had one other person join us. Welcome, Robert. So we are going to get started. I'm going to ask Cindy to share her screen, and please feel free to ask questions throughout, whether it's verbally, whether you want to raise your hand by using that little participants window, or whether you want to ask a question in the chat. Okay, you take it away, Cindy.
Hi everyone. For today, I already did my design, so all the cabinets are in the moldings and everything. So I'll show you the basic 3D for now. So you'll see that it's the standard colors and door model.
It looks boring.
Sorry?
It looks boring.
Looks boring. Yeah, it does. I will show you how to add style and pricing for the Cabico catalog. So you need to go at the top and in the items, then you pick style and pricing, and then you can open one of the Cabico catalogs. On this design, I have 2. So we will do for the first one. You pick your base door model. I'll pick the 80 door, the wall door, vanity doors, drawer front. If I'm too fast, just let me know. You need to pick wood and one piece 90 drawer front. We don't have to add pulls. So in the construction options, you can pick your door species. As I picked maple, I will pick, I picked 90, I will pick maple. And then the style, in this case, it's frameless. You need to double tick every time you want to open. You can't fill all the boxes at the same time. Box construction, I will pick the white interior. Finish ends, material, veneer. In the 90 door, we don't have any door center panel or edge profile available, even the applied molding. So we will pick the drawer box glides. I will pick the dovetail one. And this is it. If you have a Z door, you can pick it over there. You have to add your price level. Has door 90 is group 7.
Just a quick note on that. We definitely don't recommend dealers use 2024 pricing. The only accurate pricing that you can get is officially in CDPS, our pricing program. But that being said, we do know that sometimes people use 2020 for at least just getting a ballpark. So we just want to make sure if people are doing that, although we don't recommend it, it's really important to make sure that you have your styles and pricing set up accurately.
Yes. Thank
Cindy
you.
mostly does 2020 designs for the rendering looks only, so she doesn't often go through all of these steps.
I'm never going through all these steps, only for the door models and the finish options. So in this case, we have a wood door. Even if the 90 door in a paint color switch automatically in MDF, I will pick the door color from the wood part, maple. I'll pick the pure white lacquer, and then a close. You'll see that all my A catalog has been changed to what I picked already. I'll show you from texture with edge. So you can see the 90 door. I will also change my auto catalog, as you can work with more than one catalog if you want to add different colors in your design. It's easier to do it. So I will only pick the doors and the color in this case. So everything's done. Do you have any questions? Jess, is there any question?
Nope, no questions in the chat yet. So we can continue on.
Okay. I can show you how to change the cabinet hardware too. As default, we have round pulls, and you can change them in your global attributes.
Just as you were
You,
saying that, Kim asked, how do you change handle styles? So I think you may have been reading her mind.
good. So you right click in your design, you pick the global attributes, then you can pick your catalog, your Cabico catalog, and then change the style over there. What you can do is open only one cabinet, go through the pool available, and pick one. Don't save it. Close your cabinet attributes, and then you can do the changes for all the cabinets over there in the attributes. What we did in our design team is that we already did a PDF of all the pools available, the handles available in 2020. So you can see it over there. So we don't need every time to go through all
So yeah, so you
the
don't have
pools.
to choose pull 12 and then go back and see what
Yeah,
it looks like.
yeah,
We're currently, just so everybody knows, we're currently working on kind of a cheat sheet resource that we'll send to you hopefully next week with a number of the tips that Cindy goes through today, as well as this little resource that she's got here, because I find that very, very helpful. That probably saves everybody a lot of time when you're choosing your
yeah.
handles.
Yes. So I will pick for the, you can change the pools for the door or the drawer fronts. So I will take pool 15 and I'll keep 30 for the drawers. You can change all the positions over there too. And you can also change the textures over there and have them like a gold one if you want to.
Nice.
And you can also change the height and the width of your pools. So for the doors, if I want to have a 8 inches high pool, I can do it. I can have also a 1/4 inch thick and go with the 3 inches for this one. And I can go with an inch high. So if you apply, then you'll see that the pools are different and the color too. So I will do it for both of my catalogs.
While Cindy's doing that, what version of 2020 is everyone currently using? You can let us know in the chat, or you can just verbally tell us right now. I know Cindy is using version 12 currently.
Yeah.
And when did you upgrade to 12?
Sorry?
When did you start? When did you upgrade to 12?
Uh, at the beginning of 2020, I think.
Okay, so just a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is
Um,
another
another
version,
update.
yeah, available too.
Nicole and Kaylee, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, Kaylee. As well as Kim, they're all using version 12 as well.
Okay.
In one of the sessions that we did earlier this week, we had a few people that had just stopped using version 9 and had started using version 12. So I think it was a bit of a learning curve for them from 9 to 12.
So now you can see that all the hardware are different and gold color. So it's an easy way to change the hardware.
That's great.
Thank you.
Since I know our Cabico catalogs just have knobs on all of the doors and drawers, so that's not very exciting.
Yeah. Can you see my twin? I forgot to change my resolution. Is it big enough?
I can see it fine. Can everybody see Cindy's screen okay?
Because my screen is very big and I know that sometimes it's very small for the others.
Yeah, I think it's okay for everyone.
Okay. So I'll just save my changes. Just a little cue. When you are working in 2020, we all know that sometimes it crashed. Even they don't tell you anything and it stops. So what you can do, or sometimes you can have an error message, you can always save as automatically. So if you see over there at the top of my window, um, my file name is basic webinar, and you'll see that there is a little arrow 1. If you press Control L, then you'll see that it changed to 2. You can do it many times, 100 times if you want to do that. And then it's always a last version who's saving. You don't need to save as each time you are working in. And at the very end of your design, you can erase all the other files. So that's something I've learned through the years using 2020. It's just Control and L if you want to do that. Is there any questions for the hardware?
No questions so far.
Jason, are you speaking? We don't hear you. We're not hearing you.
It's okay. Sorry, I'm talking to myself.
Okay, good.
Okay.
He clearly knows how to use the mute feature. So if we don't hear him but we see him talking, then he's just talking
That's
to
fine.
himself.
Okay. So that's it for the pricing. I can show you a little trick for the hoods. Sometimes we want to have nice hoods in our design, and our catalog are not all updated for our new canopy and everything like that. So what I found as a nice catalog in 2020 is a Stanichi catalog. So I will show you. You can go on their website over there. So it's Stanishi Design, and you can download their 2020 catalog over there. You go to the download, and then you have their 2020 catalog over there. So if you want to see the hoods, their product, you'll see that there's a lot of nice hoods, which are already in 2020.
I'm going to mute myself for a little while because there seems to be some snowblower action outside my condo right now. But I'm still here.
So you will see that there is a lot of nice hoods, and you can, I will take like this one in my design. So you'll see that you can download their PDF catalogs, then it's going to be easier for you to add them because you can only write the code at the bottom of the 2020 toolbar over there. So in this case, I'll use the B3630. So you can have it over there. It's a nice hood, and you can have it with the stainless base. So the only thing you need to do is drag and drop in your design. Whoops. Over there. And then you'll see that you already have it. You can also change all the colors and the size and everything over there. So if you want to give your hood the same color as your cabinets, what you could do is open only one cabinet attribute. Then you go in the variable, textures, and then you'll see that if you click on the texture, in our catalog, we use V25. So you only need to remember this code. Then you go in your hood attributes, variable, texture. Then you can change to the V25. And then you have the color changing.
There's a question from Jason, but I'm going to ask it in a second. Oh, no, it's quiet for a second. Jason is asking, if we choose one of the Stanichi hoods, does Cabico source the product for production? Cindy, I'll let you answer it.
Yeah, we already had some dealers who sent us some Stanichi hoods for finishing. So, and there is a lot of hoods who are similar to ours. So you can, yes, we ever had some Stanichi hood here. That's why I'm picking this catalog too. So this is it. And oh, I forgot to show you, you can also change all dimensions. And it goes easily. And then you can.
Are there other hood manufacturers that dealers can source as well?
I don't know. It's just, you need to add on 2020 or to Cabico?
To Cabico.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Cabico.
You need to ask for custom quotes because sometimes we have issues for the shipping and everything.
Okay.
So you'll see we have a nice hood in our design. Is there any questions?
No other questions so far.
Good. Now I will show you how to add a backsplash texture in your design. So an easy way to do it is to go in your surface. It's in items over there. Then you pick surface. Then you go in your elevation. I'll do it bigger. So surface, you go in your elevation. Then I'm always starting at the left bottom corner. Then you go up. You need to go all around the window or you will have tile in your window. That's not something we want to have. So I go in the middle of my frame. Sorry. I use the snaps to do that. It's easier. And when you're at the end, you right click on your mouse, then it opens the window to pick the tile. So you only have to change the texture to pick and then you pick your tile. Pick this one. So you now have nice backsplash. So now you can see that there's a little line over there. It's because I didn't go and clip on the other, snap on the other side. And when you have this problem, what you can do is go to your surface, edit, and you can pick and the green cross. This is it. Is there any questions?
No, that looks nice. When I was a designer prior to starting to work for Cabico, I didn't know how to do most of these things. I thought you had to do you had to change the texture on a whole wall, and I didn't realize that you could just do a surface on specific areas. So that's a good tip for sure.
Yes, it's a nice tool. So same thing for the appliances. You can pick different catalogs and download them from 2020.net. You can update them. You can look at it sometimes to see if there is updates available for the catalogs. Most of the time, I'm using a GE catalog. The only issue in this catalog is that we don't have any wine fridge. So I will use one from Frigidaire to go in my design. I'll pick a wine cooler. And then you can drag and drop in your design. You can also go with, if you know what your customer has as appliance, you can only type the code in there, then you'll see it. What we can have too is that we can right click on the appliance, not like this one, sorry, in G. You'll see that if we can right click and see the appliance specs through the website. Some companies are doing it, so you don't need to go through the web. And you'll see that we have a nice wine cooler. Is there any questions? No?
Nope, no questions in the chat anyways.
Sorry, I missed that part. How did you source that technical information for the appliances again?
It's not all of the companies who does it.
Okay.
In GE, that's fine because they are doing it. You pick your appliance, then you right click.
Yeah.
You go to the specs.
Okay.
down there, and then it shows.
Interesting. All right. That's handy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I will show you how to add scenery behind the windows over there to make it more realistic. So to add scenery in your design, you'll have to go in the room catalog. Then you pick windows, scenery, and the scenery. Then what you can do is drag and drop in your design. Then you have a blank surface. You only need to go and pick a background, not this one. You can pick over there, you can pick scenery over there. I'll pick the trees. And then you can place your scenery. You left click, then you stretch it. So you will see that you have a scenery everywhere and you don't have the same thing in each windows as we did before by changing every window scenery. You can also make it a little bit more realistic by going up and down. If you do like -24, then you'll see that, whoops, I did plus. Then you only see the trees. So you could do, you can see that because my scenery is wider than my room, outside you can see the floor. So what we can do is add, you can copy paste this one or add a new one with a different image. Could go with maybe it's a fall on one side and the spring on the other side. Then you rotate.
Or you could choose scenery from the city that your customer lives in as well,
Yeah,
to make
yeah,
it
you
really
could do
kind
that.
of more personal for them.
Yeah, and if you put it as close as possible, you won't have the floor showing out there. Or you can add custom shapes to add grass or something like this, but the easiest way to do it is to put it as close as possible. Is there any questions?
No questions on the chat. And I think the snowblowers are gone from outside my house, so
No.
I'll keep myself unmuted now.
Good. Now I will show you how to add some elements from the cloud. Before I will show you how to work in 2 or 3D in your elevation. Most of the time I'm working in 3D. I will show you, it's in your preferences. Then you can pick in the work area, you can show a 3D floor plan or elevation. So you can see all your details in the elevation. That's easy to work with it in without any cloud decorative items. When you add clouds, items, then there is so much lines in it that it lags. So I recommend to work in 2D instead of 3D. But when you're building your design, you can work that way, and you'll see that when you add appliances, then it lags a little bit. What you could do is go in your global attributes. Then you pick your appliance catalog. Then you can go to the shape of your catalog. Then you go to the 3 little dots over there. Then you pick elevation 2D. And you'll see now we don't have any problems. It's even better than before. I do it for all my appliances when I can. But if you are taking appliance from the cloud, then you can't do that. We can't do 2D shape on elevation when it's from the cloud. So that's a way you could work with your design. Then I'll put it back in 2D to show you how to add the cloud items. So to work with the cloud, you need to create an account. Then when it's done, you can go to the browse. You can find the cloud over there in your items at the top. I put it on the side of my design too. And when you want to search something over there, you can just write the beginning of the word. Then it will show you like suspended lights. And then when you go on your light, you can see the previous picture of the lighting. What's good with the cloud is that you can go on their website and ask for different items, then they will do it and bring it in the cloud live. You don't need to have updates of the catalogs. It's done automatically. So I'll pick this one. Then you drag and drop in your design. Then you can go in your attributes and change the height. Sometimes you can change the texture. Sometimes it doesn't allow you to do it. Then you can pick your up down and change it to the right dimension. So now we have a light. Quite big, but we have one. I will change the dimensions a little bit. If you like it, then you can just copy paste. like this. You can do the same thing with the stools. You can also change color. Oh, no, not this one. And you can copy, paste. Is there any questions?
There's no questions in the chat. No. Can you turn on those light fixtures that you've just added so that they actually
No, we
generate?
can't from the cloud.
Okay, so they're just purely
No.
decorative and not
Yeah.
actually functional.
You can
lights.
add lights. You can add lights. We will show it in the advanced
Okay.
webinar. But yes, you can add it, but manually.
We did just get a question from Jennifer. Is there an index of some sort for the cloud items? She's having trouble finding what she's looking for, and says, I don't get the name exactly right.
Okay. Just write the exact name, only some letters. You can add some filters too. You can, like the exact name or all five fields. You can also select exactly what you want. If you don't want to see the appliances catalogs when you search for something, then you uncheck them.
So you can limit what it's actually searching for to kind of narrow it down, but there's no like accessory section or furniture section or something like that that you can just browse through. Okay.
No. We learn where they are. I'll show you like plate. If you want to add plates, then you'll see there is sink. I know that almost in the middle, then you can see some stuff.
Okay.
That begins to be.
The more you kind of use the cloud, the more you'll start to realize where or how to find things. But no, sorry, Jennifer, it doesn't seem like it's quite as easy as previous catalogs.
We could add like flowers. Then you can rotate, and I'll put it in my open shelves. Then the only thing is that we can't see exactly where is the item in the on the elevation when you are in 2D. You can make your cabinet transparent, and sometimes you can see it. So let me. You can change your up down. Then you see that my flowers are in the middle of the shelf. Then you can go in your design and right click and up down. Then you can move it up and down in your design. what I suggest is that if you wanted to snap somewhere or not goes through, I will show you in elevation, it's going to be easier. Then you right click, escape, then it's done. You can place it in your 3D rendering. You can also go oh, that's why. I will change my settings. Because when I'm doing my last version of plans and elevation, I take off all the design, the creative elements. So you can just take them off. Yeah, by taking them off your over there in your general items, then you take off the creative items. Then it goes in all your elevation. It's not there anymore. So you can see it over there. And when you want to add stuff and make them up and down in your elevation, an easy way to do it is to go up, down, and then you can see your little snap over there. If you don't want it to snap anywhere, you can press on your keyboard, just Control and Shift. Then you can go everywhere you want. It won't snap anywhere. If you want it to snap at a specific place, like on the countertop, then you can only click Control. And it's gonna clip where you want it. Like this. Is there any questions on that?
Nope, no questions on the chat. This design is looking better and better.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as boring as what we started out with. Oh, Jason, do you have a question?
I do have a question. I notice sometimes when I'm placing undermount sinks in the sink cabinets, it's showing the top rail in the cabinet. Yeah. How do we do that we don't see those?
You can see it on mine too. So what you can do is go in your cabinet attributes. Then wait for my 2020 to collaborate. Then you go in your textures. You see your rail texture, maple. Then, okay. Yeah, it crashed. Sorry.
That's the realities of 2020.
Yeah. I'll take the last one. Okay, I don't have any lights and anything anymore, but I will show you. You pick your cabinet attributes. Then variable texture. Then you can go in your rail texture. And then you pick none. So you won't see it anymore.
That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, I don't have any scenery, anything now. I will just put some to show you how to do the nice rendering. Won't be so long, sorry. Sorry. So you can see that when you're used to it, then it's easy to work with the scenery. Um, mm, is there any question, Jess?
No, Jennifer just said that was very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll save it.
Just in case.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So you need to wait until there is no blue lines on your cloud items before doing something else, because of course it will crash. That's an issue. So I'll try with this one. You can go over there and look to change your light color. So you'll see that when you click on the texture, you have all the textures used in this design, textures from the cloud, new textures. So you can use them for another item if you want to. So I could use this on my light. The only thing is longer to do is to change, because you need to change every colors over there. So to save you, sometimes I won't do it. So you can see that it's gonna snap somewhere. And for now, I don't want it to snap, so I will use my Control Shift. Then it won't snap anywhere. Okay. I will save it again.
Not taking any chances today.
Oh, got to change the height
Oh,
of my lighting.
yeah. They look like really big puck lights.
So you only need to click on your accessory to change the up down. So this is it. I will show you how to change the floor, because sometimes we want to make a difference between the living room and the kitchen or the dining room. So an easy way to do it is to go in your room catalog, so everybody has it. Then you go in tiles. Then you wait for 2020.
Sorry, Michaela did have a question in the chat. She said, is there a way to make the light fixtures look like the shape of the light or the shape of a lighting symbol rather than the general box that shows on a plan? So is there a way to make the symbols round rather than square?
Let me see if we change the preferences to the work area on your floor plan to make it to 3D. No.
No, they're still square.
Yeah, but you can see those tools.
Yeah. So maybe it depends on how the decorative item is actually built within the 2020
I don't know
catalog.
why sometimes you can see it on the cloud and sometimes it doesn't show.
Okay. No, sorry about that, Michaela.
Okay. So for the floor, then you can pick a table, wall, tiles, and something like that. But I will pick the floor one. At the table, you can have a square, a diamond, and a diamond with borders. So most of the time I pick the square one. Then you drag and drop in your design. So it will open your Windows attribute. You can change the color. Yeah. Sorry. Most of the time, I add the cloud items at the very end of my design because it makes 2020 crash a little bit more. That's why I always do a Control L too. Because when it crashes, sometimes you want to open it again and it's an error message. So I just saved it. So to add tile, again, you go in your room catalog Then you go in tiles, at the table floor tiles, and I use square. Then it opens the attribute window. Then you can pick whatever you want as the color. You can also pick a color from your, like I could pick a gray one. Then you can change your grading to, most of the time I'm working with the Sherwin-Williams colors because they are easy to work with. The rendering is nice and they are nice. So you can see my tile over there. So just hold on a second. You can go in the corner of your room. Then you can stretch it from the little green square and over there. So we'll save it. When you look at your 3D, then you'll see the different floors like this. What you could also do with the tiles is going in the attributes, then you can change the size. So for now they are 12 by 12. You can make them 24 by 24. And then it has been changed on the design. So that's an easy way to make a difference in your design. You can show it in texture with hedge too. Oh, I can see my lighting. Same thing for the tile. When you put it in your design, sometimes when you want to select something, it goes all over everything. So you can take it off to be able to select some items. In this case, I see that my lightings are still up. Is there any questions for the floor?
No questions in the chat. No, but I think that's nice that you can show different flooring types to make the space look more realistic.
So now you have a nice design, nicer design. To make your views, you can use your mouse to go in and out your design, up and down. You can change it by the little toolbar at the bottom of it. You can use your camera and then play with it to go in your design. There's another way you can work with this tool is to the clipping object. Then if you play with it, then you'll see a circle over there. And each time the circle touches something, it disappears in your design. So you can show like your bottom cabinets without taking off your island. But you can see that the tiles has been touched by the circle, so it's not there anymore. So it's an easy way to work and move in your design without taking off all the cabinets.
Without moving your island out of the way and having to replace it in the exact right position.
So as you can see, I'm not playing too much in my design to place my picture very good. You can see that it shows the scenery on top, but it doesn't matter in this case. You can move your up down, and I will show you how to take it off after that. You can change your ceiling color over there by make it visible or not. You can press the 3 little dots to change the color, and same thing for the floor. Something I can show you is when you always want the same color on your walls, the floors, the ceiling. You can all change it in your file preferences, in your room texture. Then you can change it over there. So every time you will do a new design, you will have the same colors, the same floor, same ceiling, and same walls, instead of going everywhere to change all your walls color, the floor, the ceiling. So it will always be the same thing. So if you pick colors as neutral as possible, then you don't need to change it every time. If we go in the lighting, sorry, you can put a sun. I don't use it very much because you can move it. There's a lot of shadow everywhere, but if you want to make it more realistic, then you can use it. So you'll see the door shadow over there. And most of my design, I don't use it. Same thing for the ceiling. You can move it where you want it to. You can change the intensity. Most of the time I use 40. For the scene, you can have the auto lighting. You'll see that there's the light will appear on top of most of your cabinets. I don't like it very much, so I always take it off. You can play with your ambient light intensity and the user light. In the advanced webinar, we are showing you how to use how to put light manually, and you'll see that you can change the intensity of those lights over there. You also have your image exposure over there. I don't play with that at the beginning, only at the end of my rendering. So let's start the rendering. Is there any questions for the lights?
No questions in the chat about the lights, no.
So while it's rendering. I will show you how to change your preferences. I'll put on a cloud item on my countertop, then you'll see.
Cindy, Jennifer just said, your overall design is very white. Mine always comes out a shade of gray. Is there a way to fix this?
My 3D or my floor plan elevation?
I think that she's meaning your renderings, your actual 3Ds, but Jennifer, can you confirm that?
What you could do if it's in the renderings, you could play with the scene over there. Then you'll see that sometimes it goes darker.
Okay.
And when you play with that, you have very much light.
Okay.
That's a way to fix it. And I'll show you another way, easier than that. So my rendering is now 74. You can see that my elevations are not the standard colors from the 2020 settings. I won't go far in it, but you can change it and do your own elevation stuff. Like you see, wait. This is the regular 2020 display setting with all the cabinets labels. When I'm doing my design, I'm never using the labels for the elevation. So I did my own display settings, and you can save it the way you want it to be. So it changed all the colors and the way it presents. So you won't have the 2020 yellow color. You can do the same thing on your floor plan. You can see that in my all floor plan, I don't have any labels. If you go in the NKBA, then I did my settings to have all my labels. I changed the font and everything I want to do in it.
It looks nice. It looks
So
very clean and professional.
Thank you. So if you want to see our advanced webinar, then I'll show you how to do it a little bit. So we are almost done. Is there any questions?
No questions in the chat.
Okay, now my rendering is done. So you'll see that there's a lot of lights in it. Then that's where you can play with the exposure. So you can click on exposure, then you'll see the light goes down. Then you can move it a little bit to make it darker or brighter, like this. So you can do it manually too. And what I do after that is that I save my rendering as a JPEG. Um, then you can save it. And then you can close it. And what I do after that is that I go pick my picture and I open it in gallery photo gallery. Jess, is that the name?
It is, I keep getting it wrong. I think it's just called Photo.
Okay.
Photos. The
So
Photos app that comes standard with like Windows 10. So
yeah.
it's just the regular photo app.
So what you can do is you can crop your picture so it take off the scene at the top. You can show whatever you want, more or less walls. And after that, you can add filters. So you can do it automatically. And you can change your light. You can change the details too. So you can play with it to make it photorealistic. And you can save a copy.
So that's a little bit easier than
You don't,
fiddling with all of the lighting settings
yeah,
in your actual rendering.
yeah. And you won't waste a lot of time with your 2020 settings. So then you can close it. After that, when you want to add the little bar at the bottom with your name and the dates you did it and everything, then you can go, it's in the presentation. You can go in drawing layout. Then I already had one. So I will create a tab. You can pick template 1. So it will show you a frame. And if you right click in it, you can load image. After that, you go wherever you put it. So you can see that I saved it as basic 2020. So now it's in your 2020 template. So I have my name and the day I did it everywhere in my design. And you can also play with it, with the frame. If you want to show multiple pictures, you can add frame. And you can add your floor plan and elevation in it. So you can show a lot of things with that tool. Is there any questions?
No questions in the chat right now, no.
So that's a nice way to show your renderings. And now we are done with our 2020 basic webinar.
Okay, does anybody, could you please show the last 2 steps again, how to change lighting in photo and how to use the drawing layout? Sure,
Okay.
we'll just go over those 2 things again.
Okay, I will pick. So you can open your 3D rendering in photo. Then you can crop. Oops. You can crop your design. So you can move it to show what you want to show, like this. Then you go in your filters. Sorry, mine is in French. And you can upgrade your picture. So it does it automatically. But you can go by your own and play with the lighting. So make it like clearer or darker by moving over there. You can also play with the colors. Sometimes it's like more yellow than what you want. Then you can play with it to make it warmer or colder. And you can play with the details. So you can see the details, like we don't have a lot of details over there. If you play with it, then you can see your door details. Then you save as. After that, you go back to your design. You goes in presentation over there. Then you pick drawing layout. You can you do it? Yeah, you could also right click on your floor plan and show drawing layout. Then you can create as much tabs as you want. So you right click out of your page, create new tab, and you can pick different templates. Okay. You can pick, most of the time I pick template 1. You can pick template 2, then you have 2 frame. You can pick whatever you want as different templates. Over there, you can write stuff, you can pick whatever you want. For my rendering, I pick template 1, then OK. Then you right click in the frame, you pick load image, and you goes in your file. You go in the file you picked. You saved it in. So, and you double click on the image. And this is it. Do you have questions? Jess, we can't hear you.
You're right, I muted myself. There's no additional questions in the chat. Nicole said thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think we've covered all of our topics that we had set out for this webinar. So are there any questions about what we have done today, or any other questions at all? Okay, we're getting lots of thank yous. Great webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for all the great information. I did put a link to a very quick 3-question survey in the chat. So please click on that link before we end this meeting. We just want to know what you thought of this, kind of what your key takeaways were, the biggest things that you got out of this today, and what we can do to improve. Our digital human touch program is very new. We just really launched it this week with a number of different webinars available, but it was created in a very short period of time. So we know that there's a lot of things that we could do to improve it for ourselves and for you guys. So please let us know what you thought, and hopefully you will be taking part in some of the other webinars that we have either this week or next week. We just sent out our schedule for next week's webinar yesterday morning, and again had overwhelming response to it, which is wonderful. We will continue to offer these webinars for the foreseeable future, and we're going to continue to add additional topics. We have a few in mind already, but we'd love to hear if you guys have any ideas as well. Melissa just asked, is there a recording available? There will be recordings available. We are recording each session, and then I believe this weekend they are all going to be uploaded to our new Cabico Academy YouTube channel. So you will be able to go and watch sessions on demand afterwards, refer back to them and things like that. Also, I had mentioned earlier, we are working on kind of an after the fact handout or resource material for you guys. So once Cindy and I have put all of that together, we are going to send it out to everybody who attended a 2020 webinar this week. So we're hoping to get that out to you guys next week. So yeah, thank you very much for coming to this webinar today, and hopefully we'll see you on some other webinars soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.